All right. Hello, hello, hello. I need to make sure that my audio is working. Yes, it is. I was having a problem with that yesterday. So I got to double check before I go on talking a whole lot. Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Allie Thompson, and I am here to do some open Q&A to help handmade sellers sell their products online. And so this entire call is going to be me answering your questions, either questions submitted in advance or questions that I get here on the call. So before I jump into that and before I start answering questions, I have a couple of questions on hand right now. I really like answering questions live. So if you have any questions for me, you can drop it in the chat below and I will get to your question, hopefully, on this call. But before I get into that, I do want to talk about Handmade Sellers Club a little bit because a lot of the questions that I get, ultimately, the answer that I'm going to give is there's a training for that in Handmade Sellers Club, or that's something we help you with in Handmade Sellers Club. So I just want to take a minute to talk about Handmade Sellers Club and what it is and how it can actually help you grow your business. So Handmade Sellers Club is a program that I put together specifically for handmade sellers just like you who want to sell their handmade products online. Excuse me. It's a monthly membership program where you get access to my super seller system, which is my Facebook training of how to use Facebook to make online sales, how to actually get likes and comments on your posts, how to go Facebook Live with confidence, how to host Facebook Live sales and sell out of everything that you make, even how to do album sales and be able to sell out of everything you make. One of the questions I have here today, we're going to get into that a little bit about hosting sales on Facebook and not getting any results. So we show you how to actually engage your audience, grow your audience, engage your audience, and get them to buy from you on Facebook. So when you become a Handmade Sellers Club member, you get the entire super seller system. You get the photography training so you can take better photos, which is so important when it comes to online sales. You get my Prompts for Profits calendar, which is a calendar where we give you prompts of what to post every single day of the month. So we have a different calendar for every month. March, we just released the March calendar a week or so ago. And today is March the 4th. You would actually go to the calendar, look at March 4th, and make your post based on that prompt. It's really, really cool because it allows you to not spend so much time staring at a screen trying to figure out what to do and instead just make the post. And these posts are designed to get the interaction that you need in order to make sales. So they're all designed around getting you that sale. So you get the Prompts for Profits calendar, you get the pricing masterclass, the Instagram masterclass, the website bootcamp. You get all the training that you need in order to build a successful and profitable business online. Plus, you get our community. You get to be a member of the Handmade Sellers Club community where you get support, get your questions answered. I'm live in the group once a week. My assistant coach Willow is live in the group once a week covering very specific subjects. You get all the support that you need in order to successfully sell online. So that is Handmade Sellers Club. We do have a special offer where if you join, let me grab the link here. When you join, you can take a 2-week trial for just $7. So that 2-week trial is going to give you access to everything that's in Handmade Sellers Club. You get access to the community, the training, the Prompts for Profits calendar, which you can download immediately. Even if Handmade Sellers Club isn't right for you in the long term, just getting in there and getting that calendar is going to be worth it for you. So you can grab the calendar. You can do everything that a member can do. But you get 2 weeks to decide whether or not it's a good fit for you. So I'm going to drop that link in the comments because I am going to be mentioning it probably a lot during the call today because ultimately, I love answering your questions, but sometimes we need to dig a little bit deeper. And we need, you need the step-by-step how to, and all of that is in Handmade Sellers Club. Let me grab the link for that. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for that in the comments. And with that, I'm going to jump over. I do have pre-submitted questions that I'm going to start out with. And I do need to do one more thing real quick. Before I get into that. And there we go. Okay. Cool. All right. So I've had some pre-submitted questions and we're going to start off with that. So one of the pre-submitted questions I got was, and I kind of mentioned it, somebody asked, how do I convert posts and sales into buyers? I don't do sales often, but I do a few times through the year. However, I never get sales generated from them. All right. So this is a great question. You have a Facebook page and you're not exactly sure, like nothing is happening, nobody's buying, nobody's interacting, nobody's engaging with your content. It's all just kind of sitting there. You're not getting sales. So what goes through a lot of people's mind is, well, if I'm not getting sales, then I'll have a sale. If I have a sale, I'll get sales, ipso facto, right? If I have a sale, I'll get sales. So they go onto their page, which is already just kind of dead and gathering dust and not producing sales in the first place. And they run a 10% off sale or a buy one, get one half off or some kind of Christmas sale or something. And they post that sale and they make a post about it and they sit back waiting for all this traffic to their website or their Etsy page or even people just messaging them and waiting for all these sales to come in, right? Surely the only reason people weren't buying was because the price was too high. If I do a sale, I'll get the people that are actually following me to buy. And that's the mistake, right? The reason people aren't buying isn't because your price is too high normally. Is that the case in some cases? I'm sure. But normally for the vast majority of people, the reason people aren't buying isn't because your prices are too high. The reason they're not buying is because they don't want it yet. All right. So when you go in and say get 10% off, I want you to think of it like if you have an unengaged following, if you have followers, but they're not really engaged in what you're saying, they haven't been engaging in your posts, they're not buying in the first place, then think of like your 10% off as something like, here's 10% off of something you already don't want. That's really what it is. 10% off something you already don't want. Now that doesn't mean they'll never want it. It doesn't mean that your products are not good and desirable in the grand scheme of things. But the difference is, or the problem comes from assuming that people want our products simply because they're following our page. They may need some convincing. And in fact, a lot of people need some convincing. They need that flame of desire stoked until they can't stand it anymore and they pull out their credit card to buy. When people purchase online, there are all kinds of impediments between where they are and actually making the purchase. So they may not have their credit card in front of them. They may be standing in line at the bank when they see your posts. There's all kinds of inconveniences, small things that pop up that cause somebody to not buy. It's different than if somebody is at a show. You're setting up at an art and craft show and you've got all of your stuff out on the table and they came with money already in their wallet. Their intention was to buy. They look around, they say, okay, I want this thing. You tell them how much it is, they pay for it and they walk away, right? That's a really easy way to buy. And it's an easy way to buy a lot of things. Like people could really stock up while they're at a craft show. Online, we have friction, right? That buying process is not as easy. They don't get it right away. They don't get the instant gratification. They don't get to hold it in their hands. They're not sitting online with their wallet in their hand ready to purchase something. They're not even in the mindset of buying when they're online. They're not quite sure how they would use it yet. They're not sure what color they would like or what size they would like or what makes the most sense for them. So they have all of this friction between where they are and ultimately the purchase. Now, sometimes having a sale can relieve some of that friction. It can make people say, "Ooh, that's such a good deal and I already want that thing. Therefore, I'm going to lay my money down and get it right now and wait for the shipping and all that." That sale is enough to get over the friction. But it's like if they're here and the purchase is here, if they're here and they haven't quite yet purchased, running a sale can get them the rest of the way. But running a sale is not going to get them from here to here unless you're deeply, deeply discounting. Um, and I don't recommend handmade sellers do that unless you're like just trying to get some clearance stuff out of there, right? So they're here and your product is here. You want to get them from here to here and ultimately to there, right? The here to here happens with your posts. It happens with building that relationship. It happens with you becoming more visible in their newsfeed. And if up until that point you've only been posting boring salesy posts, then they're ignoring you in the newsfeed. The algorithm's delivering your posts less. So even if you're posting every day, if your posts are boring, they're not seeing them, right? So they're not getting reminded of you. They're forgetting that you exist. When they do see your posts, they seem very, very salesy. And salesy works when they're here. Salesy doesn't work when they're here. So it's not moving them forward at all. And in fact, sometimes it pushes them backwards. And so they're staying over here and you want them here. How do we fix that? We fix that through engagement. We fix that through posts that are actually interesting to our audience. We fix that by posting things that make them lean in and say, "Oh my gosh, I love that. I have to have it. That is the coolest thing ever. I love how she made that." Following along with a work in progress, watching you come up with new ideas, seeing other products that you're posted as sold and like, "Oh man, when it comes up again, I better jump on it." Hearing your story, seeing you go live, watching your videos about your products, hearing you talk about how to use the product, or that Mother's Day is coming up. "Oh yeah, Mother's Day. I need to get something for Mother's Day." All of those things are moving the person like this, right? And for some people, you don't even have to have a sale. In fact, for a lot of people, when you do this right, when you really engage with your audience and you build that relationship with them and they become fans, right? Not just followers, but fans. When they become fans, then boom, they'll come over, right? So some people, it happens very quickly. Others, it happens more slowly. Now, there are those who will get stuck here and they're waiting for a sale, right? There's also people that are buying, and then when you have a sale, they're just even more excited about it. But we got to get them at least this far. If you're not even getting engagement on your posts, how are you going to get them to see the post about your sale? Because the algorithm's already deciding not to deliver stuff to them. And then they're seeing the post about your sale and they're like, "I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be buying." I've seen a lot of people run sales where it's like a 10% off sale and it's unclear what even the product is. And a 10% sale is not going to move a lot of people, right? 10% off is not going to move a lot of people. And I'm not saying that you ever have to discount a product. You never have to discount a product. It can work really, really great, but there are different ways of running sales that do not include discounts whatsoever. But promotions, right? So, when people are stuck here and they're like, "I'm on the edge of buying," and you want to run some kind of promotion, that's when you're going to see success. But if you're trying to run a promotion and your people are this far out, it's just not going to work. So rather than focusing on the promotions and the sales, rather than discounting your products because you believe that nobody's going to buy unless you discount your product, which is totally undervaluing your work, instead of doing that, focus 100% on building the relationship. 100% on building the relationship. Show up, go live, right? Go live, talk to your audience, post every day, post engaging content. Answer frequently asked questions. Give them ideas on how to use your product. Show them new things that you've created. with not in a salesy way, not in a here's the price and DM me if you want to buy it, or here's a link to my website, but just be like, I'm really proud of this thing that I just made. I wasn't sure if it would turn out, and it did. And it's really, really great. Ask them engaging questions like this or that. Should I put a yellow bow on it or a pink bow on it? Which one of these is your favorite? Scale of 1 to 10. How much do you love this? Right. And this is exactly what we give you in the Prompts for Profits calendar. If you follow the Prompts for Profits calendar and you have other things in place like a unique product focus and all of that, and we talk about that in the super seller system, if you're following the Prompts for Profits calendar, then you're building that relationship with your audience. You're making more interesting content that they want to engage with, that they're going to stop and read and actually like the post, comment on the post. And that feeds the algorithm. It allows your post to go out to more people. They're stopping and reading it and engaging it. And so now they're used to seeing you, and they're used to seeing your products, and they're seeing all kinds of different ways to use your products and different colors and different varieties and different things that you do within that product focus. And then if you want to have a sale, that's going to work. But you may find at that point in time, you don't need to have a sale, right? You don't need to have a sale in order to make sales. Okay. So it is not always dependent on the price. The relationship is most important. The relationship is most important. There's an old saying in internet marketing that the money is in the list, right? If you have an email list, or if you have, followers on social media, the money is in the list. And one of the marketing guys I follow, I think it was Frank Kern, but I don't really remember. He said, no, the money is not in the list. The money is in the relationship with the list. If you have 10,000 followers and zero relationship, you can run sales till the cows come home and you're not going to sell anything. But if you have 1,000 followers and they know, like, and trust you, and they're eagerly watching for your next post, and they're already buying, if you want to have a Facebook Live sale, a product launch, if you want to have an album sale, any one of those things, you're going to have a lot more success in that, because you already have the relationship with the list. And again, you don't even need to have any kind of live sale or album sale if you're getting enough sales throughout. I see Lana saying that she's never had a sale. She doesn't mean she's never sold anything. She's never had a sale, right? Lana doesn't discount her products. Lana doesn't have a website like a 25% off everything on the website. Lana doesn't do album sales because Lana has such a great relationship with her following. She doesn't need to. She can sell anything and everything that she has. She goes live. She posts her work in progress. She talks about her products, and she makes wow products. That really helps too. And so she doesn't need to put anything on sale. She's actually raised her prices over the years. Lana says, PFP is the best thing ever. I joined this program years ago because of it. It is. It really is the best thing. It takes all the guesswork out of posting to Facebook. It takes all the guesswork out. You just go to the PFP. Today is March 4th, 2025. There's the March 4th. We publish a brand new calendar every single month. So you go to the March 4th calendar, or you go to the March calendar, go to the 4th, and it tells you exactly what to post. And so you don't have to keep guessing, like, am I doing too much of this? Am I doing too much of that? We make sure there's the right kinds of posts in there, as well as the right kind of post mix. So you're not posting the same kinds of things over and over and over again, that you have variety in your posts, which is really important. If you post the same stuff over and over again, you're going to bore the pants off your audience. They're gonna be like, I've seen these things a million times. You keep asking me scale of 1 to 10 like 4 times this week. So you definitely need to have that mix and variety of people actually, or variety of posts that you're putting out on your page. All right, let's go to another question. And again, if you're listening, watching, and you have a question, go ahead and drop it in the chat below, and I will be more than happy to answer your question. But in the meantime, I've got another one here. Let's see. I'm going to answer this one really quick because this comes up a lot. Um, but it's very related to what I just said. But I want to make sure that I answer it because it does come up a lot. The question from Sherry is getting my friends to buy my items and spreading the word. Um, Everything that I just talked about with building relationships, making the posts is the answer to that. Your friends, if they're following your Facebook page, and we're using Facebook as the main platform I'm going to talk about, but any social media you're posting on, if your friends are following you online and you're being super super salesy, they are going to get turned off, and they're going to, as much as they love you and actually want to support you, they will actually stop interacting with your posts because it's the same stuff all over again, over and over again. It's buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. Here's a link to my website. PM me if you want to buy this. Here's another product. Here's another product. Here's another product. Here's another product. So when people think like, how do I get my friends to buy my products and spread the word? It's like, how do I make them do what I want without giving them anything that they want? And that's not a really great way to approach life. You have to get if you give, if you want to get, right? You have to give if you want to get. If you are the type of friend that only asks for things all the time and you never help them, you never give them what they're looking for, you're probably not going to be friends for a long time. The same thing is true with your business. If you are asking people to buy and you're never giving them a good reason, you're not building that relationship first. You're not creating an entertaining Facebook account. Then all you're doing is asking all the time. It's that desperation, right? Like buy for me, please buy for me, please buy for me, buy for me. How about this? How about this? How about this? How about this? Buy this, DM me. If you DM me, you can buy it. You can buy it if you DM me, right? And it comes off as desperate. And even friends and family will get to a point where they're like, I'm not going to pay attention to this anymore. And they start ignoring your posts. And then the algorithm shows it to fewer people. And then eventually they stop seeing your posts because they're telling Facebook, by the lack of engagement on your posts, they're telling Facebook, I don't like this. I don't like how she's so up in my face and trying to sell her stuff all the time. I liked it when, especially if you're doing this on your personal account, I liked it when she was posting about vacations and things, right? I don't like this super salesy. So, in order to give value to your friends and family, to make them want to, one, buy from you, and two, actually spread the word, you have to give first. And that doesn't mean giving away product. What that means is give value. You have to have interesting posts. You got to tell good stories. You've got to ask opinions. You have to make your posts and your product fun and interesting and interactive so that they actually want to interact with you. Um, Comment that I get all the time is how friends and family are now approaching members, Handmade Sellers Club members. They're using the calendar, and they get these big grins on their faces, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're all over Facebook. What you're doing is so cool. Did you get a marketing degree? I can't believe you're like on video all the time. It's like you're a celebrity. Everybody knows you now, right?" They are getting value out of your posts. They are excited for you, right? They're seeing the value, they're seeing the interest, they're seeing the engagement of other people, and that's feeding into them that I'm friends with this really cool person. Now it's somebody that they want to brag about. They want to buy the product and brag about it. Oh, I bought this from my cousin. She's all over Facebook. She's been building this business and it's absolutely fantastic, right? So now they have like all this excitement in their purchases. And then they're recommending you to other people and they're excited to share your video. And they're like, oh, that's my friend. Look at her. Look what she's doing. She's doing so great. Right. Instead of the buy from me, you're adding value. And when you add value, your friends and family will naturally start to share your content, right? It's not about how do I make them. I always feel like loaded in that question is like, how do I bribe them? How do I emotionally manipulate them? How do I force them to do what I want and not have to alter my behavior at all? And I say you're just looking at it all wrong. It's about how can I add value that my friends and family are eager and excited to be involved with. When you're successful, they're there. But when you're desperate, they're not there. They're going to slowly inch away because they don't want to share your post when it sounds desperate and it's begging for sales. And now they're sharing to their friends and family. They're sharing your begging and desperation to their friends and family. That's not cool. And nobody wants to do that. Think about it. Nobody wants to do that. And it's not about not supporting small businesses. They want to support small businesses, but not like that, right? Not like that. I hear this all the time that people should support small businesses more. And I agree with that, but it's up to the small business to provide a value that people want to support. If you are not bringing value to the marketplace, people aren't going to support you. A really good example of this is like if you have a local plumber and then you have a national franchise plumber in your area, and the local plumber never answers the phone, only shows up half the time, is disorganized, has not very professionally dressed, is making you uncomfortable in your own home. But the national franchise plumber has standards and they're dressed nice and they have a call center and everything is taken care of. It's hard to convince yourself to buy local in that situation. And that's what I see most of the time, that the local businesses that thrive, not just survive, but thrive, are the ones that are bringing a lot of value to the marketplace. It's not just the fact that they're local. And we need to think about that with our small business as well. It's not about everybody should support small business. It's that small businesses need to elevate their place in the marketplace. They need to elevate their brand to their own customers. They need to engage with their customers that they can add in a way that adds value that the big box stores can't, right? Walmart cannot interact with people on a live the way that we can, right? And so that's the value that we bring. That's the value that we bring. We always think that it's in the product or it's in our prices, but it's really us. It's really us and the value that we're bringing to the marketplace. The product matters, right? The price matters a lot less than people think it does. Product does matter, but you and your relationship with your audience is what matters the most. All right. So I wanted to cover that one real quick. So I got another question from Savannah, and Savannah says, is Savannah's Handmade Crafts a good name for my Facebook page? So this goes into the unique product focus and what is a unique product focus and why is it important? Now I'm going to ask you guys right now, if you saw the name Savannah's Handmade Crafts, what do you think her product is? What is the product? What is the thing to get excited about with Savannah's Handmade Crafts? And who's excited to go check out Savannah's Handmade Crafts? Who's like, oh my gosh, I love handmade crafts. I want to go check that out immediately. Like, I want you to really sit and think and stew on that for a bit. And so the name of your Facebook page should reflect your unique product focus, because there are many times on Facebook where all a potential customer sees is your name. And we want the name to be a neon sign blinking and saying, this is what I have. People who love this thing, come check me out over here, right? I'm seeing like Terry says no clue. Lana says it's too generic. Now, if Savannah sells goat's milk soap, would we have any idea from the name of her business that she sells goat's milk soap? Do we even feel like, even let's say that she even said, like, hey, I sell goat's milk soap. Here's a link to my Facebook page. Would it feel like if you went on that Facebook page that she's an expert in goat's milk soap and that she specializes in goat's milk soap and she makes the most amazing, off the wall, crazy, like whatever goat's milk soap? No, it would feel like goat's milk soap is one of the 26 different products that she sells. So, because it's crafts, handmade crafts. Laura says that that name makes me think there will be a variety of products. But what products? And again, when you're in person at a show and somebody's walking by your table and you have goat's milk soap and you have candles and you have crocheted goods and you have like stickers and you have all of that on your table, somebody already there with wallet in hand is browsing by and just looking for items that they like, right? Now, it's been proven over and over again that you will actually sell a lot more in person if you specialize, if you have a unique product focus. But you can get away with a variety when it comes to in-person sales. However, when you're selling online, it's a completely different ballgame. It is all about attracting the perfect customer. You're at a show with a million different sellers, right? There's millions of people selling online. You're competing with Amazon, you're competing with Walmart, you're competing with every single seller on Etsy, you're competing with everybody, right? So we can't wait for somebody to find our page and want to peruse through all the pictures to find something that they want to buy. We can't afford to do that. What we need to do is identify what our unique product focus is and what customer, what niche buys that kind of product. So this is what we did in our rabbit toy business. Instead of just saying we sold pet toys, which was already kind of niching down, that's better than handmade crafts, right? We said we made rabbit toys, toys for house rabbits. And so when somebody, so we sell house rabbit toys. So who's our target market? Our target market is people who own house rabbits, right? So if you own a house rabbit and it said Allie's Handmade Crafts, that person may just breeze right by my page, not even realizing I have the product for them. But if I rename my page Happy Rabbit Toys, which is what our page name was, if I rename it Happy Rabbit Toys and they own a house rabbit, they're going to, nope, that's where I need to be. I need to go check that out. I wonder what they have, right? The perfect customer finds that page name irresistible. Where the non-perfect customer, if they don't have a house rabbit, if they have 0 pets and they don't even know anybody with a house rabbit, they see Happy Rabbit Toys, they're going to drive right on by. They're going to drive right on by because it's not for them. But the person who stops is an ideal customer, somebody who could buy over and over and over again. So you actually get fewer, let's see, I don't want to say fewer followers. You have fewer people who the sign is supposed to attract, but you're going to catch a much bigger percentage of those because they're going to say, that's for me, right? So with Savannah's Handmade Crafts, I have no idea where to even start with that. Is that for me? If I'm browsing through Facebook and somebody's like, oh, check out my page, Savannah's Handmade Crafts, that's not going to be very interesting to me. Now, if it's Savannah's, let's see, what's something that would interest me? Savannah's Goldfish Amigurumi. Like, that's really specific. But I know that there's people out there that do goldfish plushies, and like that's their business is goldfish plushies, right? And I love goldfish. I love fancy goldfish. And so if I see that and I'm browsing through Facebook and that pops up in a comment somewhere, it just pops up, I'm going to stop and be like, I got to check that out. Like that's really, really cool. That's the thing that I want to look at. Her product could be exactly the same in both situations, but one is going to make me stop and the other one's going to make me go right on by. Now, what a lot of you guys are going to think, but yeah, I want to make a whole bunch of different things. And that's great. You can make a whole bunch of different things and sell a whole bunch of different things at your show. But when you're going for online sales, If online sales is your goal, then you have to create an online product business, which is a focused, unique product focus, right? That's having a unique product focus. You're bringing a product to the marketplace and you're going to attract your ideal customer for that product. It doesn't work any other way. If you're selling a little bit of everything and you're making a few sales now, you could double, quadruple, even 10x and more your sales if you narrow it down into a unique product focus. We have tested this over and over and over again for the last 6 years. We've been testing this. 7 years actually. I was just watching a video that I put up in 2018, right? We've been testing this over and over and over again. And we have yet to have a single person in Handmade Sellers Club or that I've coached have any success with the multi-product approach. They might sell a thing here or there, but the second they narrow down, that's when their sales take off, right? As long as the unique product focus is one that makes sense. And that's what we have Handmade Sellers Club for. And that's why we have the community. You can come into the community and say, this is how I want to narrow down. And what do you guys think? Like, does this make any sense? And we can give you feedback on that. In fact, when you join Handmade Sellers Club at the yearly level, we'll actually do a Facebook page review for you and help you with picking that unique product focus as well. It's so important. I call it a little hinge that swings a big door. That one tweak in your approach. It sounds like a simple thing, like, oh, it's just a page name. But that page name is your entire strategy for online sales. And once you nail that strategy, once you narrow it in and say, this is where I'm going to dominate, this is the marketplace I'm going to dominate, it makes your posting easier. It makes coming up with content ideas easier. I mean, we give you the calendar, but even it makes using the calendar all that much easier. It makes it easier to know what to talk about in your Facebook Lives. It makes it easier to use the quick cash method and know what groups to join. Everything becomes easier because you have narrowed down that unique product focus. So no, I don't think that Savannah's Handmade Crafts is a very good page name because it's saying nothing to nobody. It's not going to attract you followers, and it's giving you permission to not narrow down. I'm going to keep it broad in general so I can do whatever whatever my brain thinks of next. Whatever bright, shiny object I see next, I can just start doing it. Well, that's not building a business, right? That's just trying to monetize a hobby without the proper pieces in place to have a sustainable, profitable business. If your goal is to make money, if your goal is to go on vacations and pay the bills and buy a new house and, whatever your goals are, whatever that is for you, you have to have a more disciplined approach to building your business. And that includes having a unique product focus. All right. Go on to our next question here. So I have a question from, I think I'm going to go to this one. This question from Brenda is, how do you build confidence in yourself? I love this question because I think this question is the key. I think this question is what holds a lot of people back, their belief that they're not going to be able to do it, that they're not going to be successful. That fear that a lot of people bring into business about putting themselves out there, making themselves visible to the world. And actually, I was just reading this book. I didn't even plan this. I had the book sitting right there. I just finished reading this book, Real Artists Don't Starve. And there was a quote in this book that I loved. And if I can find it quickly, I kind of know where it is. But it talks about kind of this fear of doing it. Yep, here it is. It's a paragraph. This idea about making yourself visible to other people. First of all, who here feels like you could use some extra confidence in your business? Who here is afraid of putting yourself out there, of being visible. Maybe you're afraid of doing selfies. Maybe you're afraid of doing videos. Maybe you're afraid of posting every day. Maybe you're afraid of negative comments on your products. Let me know in the comments if that's you, because I know that this does affect a lot of people. So this is about an artist who always wanted to do cartoons. She ended up doing some sort of financial newsletter, and then she started illustrating them with her cartoons. But that's what she really wanted to do, was cartoons. And it says one of her cartoons features a white ghost with the caption, "Let yourself be seen." Below it, Stephanie wrote, "I was nervous about putting my work out in the open because as much as I wanted people to know what I was doing, I was worried about being exposed. There was a risk of letting myself be seen. Like if they looked too closely, they'd discover I was a fraud. If I showed off my work, I'd be vulnerable to criticism or worse, silence. But if I embraced the risk that came with being seen, there was a huge reward waiting for me. The feeling of acknowledgement, of being noticed, of feeling heard. And most important, feeling worthy of being seen. That seems so worth the risk." And that really stuck with me. I felt like as I read that I was reading that from more than half the people that join Handmade Sellers Club. That fear of being seen, that fear of getting negative judgment, that fear that people are going to reject you. And unfortunately, when we go on Facebook and we start posting about our products on Facebook, and maybe some friends and family are engaging initially, and then they drop off, right? We already talked about that. It becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're making bad posts. And by bad, I just mean they're not strategically good. They're not engaging. It doesn't make people want to lean in and know more, right? So you're making posts that people aren't interested in. So they stop engaging. And that silence, that potential silence, can be terrifying. Nobody likes what I'm doing. My prices must be too high. Maybe it's the economy. Like we come up with all of these excuses as to why people aren't engaging with our posts and why they're not buying our product. But the longer we go of getting zero engagement, zero feedback, zero sales, the more it can just wear on you. And that confidence can really erode. That confidence that, I do have a good product and it is really great and people should really love it, but I'm not getting that feedback. Now, in this case, the Stephanie, she already had an email list, right? So she already had a group of people that she had a relationship with. And it was more about switching from focusing on her financial stuff to really presenting herself as an artist to her audience of people who already loved her. For a lot of you, you don't have much of an audience to begin with. So you're starting with very little audience. You're making posts that they don't like, and then you're not getting sales. You're not getting engagement. You're not getting sales. So how do you build your confidence? Number one is looking for the positive reinforcement that you have gotten and dwell on that. Like the more you dwell on nobody is interacting, the more you're going to go into a mindset of then therefore everybody hates me, right? I suck, my products suck. Your confidence is going to go down. So look at where you were to where you are now. And for some of you, you're just starting out, but for others, you've been selling at shows. All right, the stuff sells at shows. Obviously people like it, right? So really focus on the positive interaction that you're getting, just to help build that confidence of hey, I didn't think I could do this before. I sold hardly nothing at shows before, and now I'm actually selling some things at shows. Look at this advancement I've made. I didn't know how to get to here before. Now I'm here and I don't know how to get to there, but I've already proven to myself that I can do that, right? So that's called the gap and the gain. And that's something that I was talking about in the HSC call yesterday. I listened to more of the ebook today. It's fantastic. A book I highly recommend. Or I was listening to the audiobook. So it's not focusing so much on what I don't have, but focusing on what you do have. All right. So that's number one. Number two is like straight up join Superseller System. Because there's several things that we help you do in Superseller System. One, we help you learn how to make posts that people will actually engage more with. Now, you may not go from 0 engagement to 100 people engaging, but if you go from 0 engagement to now you're getting 2 to 3 likes on every single post, that's gaining, right? That's you moving in the right direction. And if you stop in those moments and realize, wow, look at this, I went from 0 to now I'm getting some engagement. And then you make a sale, right? You're making these posts, people are engaging more, somebody reaches out, they want to buy something. Well, heck, I sold nothing before and I sold one now. That's exciting. That's proving to me that I can do something I didn't think I knew how to do. Use the quick cash method. Quick cash method, even if you don't have an audience, you can go out into groups, and when you find the right group and a post hits, that's a huge confidence boost when people are saying, that's amazing, I love that, do you have one for sale? So while you may not have enough audience on your own page to give you that feedback, you can go into other groups, and using the quick cash method and the way I teach it, you can get that immediate feedback, and see very, very quick results. We've had people make sales within 30 minutes using the quick cash method. That's a huge boost in confidence, right? So it's about these baby steps. It's about, I didn't think I knew how to do it, but I'm following a system. And every time I follow the system, I see improvements. I see the reach for my posts is going up. I see the engagement is going up. I see the amount of followers that I have is going up, and tracking the gain rather than being stuck in the gap and saying, I'm not at this ideal version of what I think my business should be at yet, so therefore I'm a failure, right? That's going to kill your confidence. If you are in the gain, then you're going to constantly see proof of your forward momentum. And as you focus on all the good things that are happening and all the positive interactions you're getting, the more confidence you're going to have to continue to go forward. And what's nice again about Handmade Sellers Club is if you are stuck, you're like, hey, I've been here, I've not been making forward movement, you get the group to go and ask and say, hey, I'm not getting forward movement here. Is there something about my posts that I'm doing wrong? Does my unique product focus make sense? Here are the groups that I'm joining. Does anybody have suggestions for better groups? And we can help you get past those speed bumps, because that's really all they are. But when you're at a crawl, it's hard to go over a speed bump, right? And if you're at a stop, you can't go over a speed bump. So we're there to give you that push and help you realize your abilities and what you can do. The two other things I would say about boosting confidence, I got to tell you, selfies, because it's a scary thing that you don't want to do. But when you do it, you just did a scary thing. It's a really easy thing. Everybody here right now, anybody who said like, I deal with self-confidence issues, just double the amount of selfies that you're using on your Facebook post. If you're following the PFP, put more pictures of you with your product on it. One, audiences love it. You'll get more engagement with selfies. But if that's something that you're nervous about and you're scared about, and that feels like a big step in putting yourself out there, take the step. It's a pretty easy step to take. It's mentally difficult, right? It's not like you have a phone, take a picture of you holding your product, post it. Physically, it's easy, right? But it's a huge mental hurdle to get over. And then the next one would be going Facebook Live. Just jump on and go Facebook Live. Now, some of you don't have enough followers, or maybe your page isn't old enough. So we're actually doing a Facebook Live challenge in Handmade Sellers Club this month, where you can go live in our group from your personal account and just practice going live. The confidence boost I see from people from day 1 to day 5, the confidence is off the charts. It's just off the charts. It's crazy big, because there was this thing that they were terrified of, and then they did it, and they had proof that they could do a scary thing. And then they realized, hey, that wasn't actually that scary. So there wasn't really anything real to be afraid of, right? So maybe this other thing, there isn't really anything real to be afraid of. And that just builds your confidence over time. Diana says, my prompt right now is throwback. I have had my laser for 4 years. I have spent tons of money on products to engrave, displays for shows, and photography prompts. My basement and closets are full of this. Once I chose my unique product focus, it all made sense. Purchase wood, acrylic, and glue sheets. Done. Yes, I love that. The more you have a the more you have a focus, it keeps, so even for like a unique product focus, one of the things it does is rather than you having to source materials from 26 different places for your 26 different crafts, it makes production easier. It makes ordering easier. It makes bookkeeping easier. It just makes everything about your business easier. You know exactly what you need and what you don't need, and you can leave out what you don't need, and you don't have to chase those bright, shiny objects. I know it's fun chasing bright, shiny objects, but you don't have to chase the bright, shiny objects. Laura says, I've joined several groups. I've had no sales from them, just marketers and scammers. Then you're in the wrong groups, Laura. You don't want to be in the marketers and scammers groups, and there are tons of them. There are plenty of groups that are not like that at all, where people really are looking for your product. I'm not sure if you are a member, Laura. I don't recognize your name from HSC. Like I don't remember seeing you interacting in the group. But if you're an HSC member, watch the training, but then ask in the HSC group, this is what I'm selling. What group should I join? Because what most people think is that you should be joining buy-sell groups, and buy-sell groups can be really, really difficult to stand out in, and you do end up with a lot of marketers and scammers. Yeah, you are a member. So right now, Laura, go over to HSC, make a post and say, I sell X. I'm looking for ideas for what groups to join, and the community is there to give you feedback on that. Because you won't make sales in those kinds of groups. You're just going to get ignored. You've got to be really strategic about the types of groups that you join. Lana says, OMG, I remember my first live. Almost threw up, but didn't die. We've actually had people cry on their very first live. But this is why I like the live challenge, because with the live challenge, and again, we're hosting this inside of HSC. If you take the 2-week trial, you will not quite be there for the challenge. But you'll be close. Just take another month. That live challenge is huge, 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 and very, very beneficial for members. We do it in a private Facebook group, so your friends and family don't see it. Your customers don't see it. You can cry, you can throw up, your voice can shake, your lighting can be terrible, your audio can be terrible. All of those things can happen in the privacy of a group. All the worst case scenarios can happen right there. And then you do it and you almost cry. And then you do it the next day and you feel a little less like crying. And by the time you get to day 5, we've literally had people say, I don't know why I cried on day 1. This is not that hard. I've had people even get to day 5 and say, all right, I did it. Now I know I can do it, but I don't think lives are for me, who now go live every single week and are in love with it and can't get enough. If you want to have fun in your business, if you want your business to be fun, if you want that interaction that you get at shows, I hear this a lot, is like, I like the shows because I get to talk to people. I don't get to do that online. Well, then you're doing online wrong, because if you start going live, you're going to have this audience of people that are absolutely loving your lives, asking you questions, interacting. It's fantastic. You just got to get over the jitters first, right? You got to get over that, like, and I was the exact same way. The first couple of times I went live, I was terrified. I found one of my earliest lives. for in the Vendor Success Secrets group. The very first live I did in the Vendor Success Secrets group, I found that, but I had already been going live for a little while before that with other things. So it's actually not that bad. But the very first one I did, I sat there and I stared at that live button, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. All right. I'm going to push the button. I'm going to do it. And I was just like stuck there forever. I bet I sat there for 15 minutes staring at that live button. But once I did it 2 or 3 times, you know, that very first video that I did on VSS, I come across pretty naturally because I didn't have any nerves about it anymore. And that's not to say I don't get nervous still sometimes. I do sometimes still get nervous when I go live. If it's a different audience, if it's people that I'm not used to talking to. If I'm doing something really different than what I normally do, sometimes I'll still get those nerves pop up and I'm like, I don't know if I want people to see me live. Like they're going to see me live. But like it goes away and I'm fine. So even if you take that challenge in Handmade Sellers Club, 5-day challenge, 5-day live challenge, you still might get a little bit of nerves going live on your own page, but they're going to be less so. You're going to have taken a lot of the sting out of it because you've practiced it in the group. So yes, the go live, go live, go live, go live, go live, go live, go live. One of the best ways to build build confidence, build a relationship with your audience, be able to show your products in a fun, interactive, 3-dimensional way where you can actually, you know, like move the product around and show them all the pieces and parts of it. It's the best way to connect with your audience. And Facebook loves it. It likes to distribute it pretty far and wide. It's fantastic. Let's see. All right. Michelle says, lives are the best. My followers remind me when I'm late. I've been recognized in public. I make sales. It's so worth it. Yeah, Michelle pretty much sells something every time she goes live, even though it's not on sale. Like it's not discounted. She's just showing off product that she has and people buy it. So love, love, love that. Harvey says, I'm a member, but due to a glitch, I haven't been able to get on the page or Thrivecart. What email do I need to contact to resolve this? So Harvey, let me see if I can respond to you over here. That's me talking. All right, we're going to do a reply, and I'm going to reply to you with our support email. There you will be talking to Danny, and Danny will get you figured out and how to get you back into the training. Because we definitely, if you're a member, we want you to have access to the training. That's where all the magic happens. Lana says it's fun to be recognized. Yeah, so I'm still waiting for my recognized moment. My goal is, because I do these lives and I do videos and all of that, my goal is to go to a random farmer's market or craft show, like in a different area. Obviously, people know who I am in this area. Like enough people in this area know who I am. They know me more from the farmer's market than they know me from live videos. But I just want to walk into one and be like, oh my gosh, you're Allie Thompson. Like I'm dying for that recognition. But a lot of Handmade Sellers Club members get that. They'll go to craft shows and people are like, I know you. I follow you online. I see your lives all the time. I see your videos. I just absolutely love you. Which is so cool. You're right. It's so much easier to sell to that kind of person than it is to just put up salesy picture of the product with the price. It just really is. You will become a mini celebrity just by going live, by using video and going live. Susie says, I've been going live for a bit, having a hard time growing my community. Any suggestions? So Susie, are you a Handmade Sellers Club member? Let me ask you that first. If you're a member, then I recommend really just going through the training. So quick cash method, make sure you have a unique product focus. That's number one. But quick cash method, posting power posts And then there is training on how to get more followers. There are some very specific tactics in there for getting more followers, but a lot of it is just this interaction. Now, you said building your community. Oh, you are not. Yeah, then I recommend joining Handmade Sellers Club. Because here's the thing. If you grow your community and you don't have a unique product focus, then you're going to be attracting potentially the exact wrong audience. This is why even in Handmade Sellers Club, I have how to get more followers after picking your unique product focus, and why I don't host workshops on how to get more followers on your Facebook page to people who are not in Handmade Sellers Club, because you can absolutely ruin your page if you attract the wrong people to your account. I've seen this many, many, many times, and it can take a lot of momentum to get the right followers to outnumber the wrong followers. So Susie says she's not a member, but I'm getting followers, but not all are purchasing. First of all, not all of them are going to purchase. But again, Handmade Sellers Club. So in Handmade Sellers Club, we give you the Prompts for Profits calendar. That is the key. That is the secret, is to get them engaged in a way that makes them lean in and say, I want that. I need that. So a good example of this is I had a members that they had a tie-dye t-shirt company, and they were posting twice a day to their Facebook page. They had like 250 followers, not great, but not terrible, right? So they weren't starting at zero. And they were making like $200 to $300 in sales a month. And they thought that was good. They thought maybe if they tried really, really hard, in about a year, they could get to $500 in sales. They started using the Prompts for Profits calendar. Within the first week, they made $1,000 in sales. Within a month, it was $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 months. And they didn't even have a website. They had no website, and they still had 250 followers. It actually took them a while to build their followers. We do a prize in Handmade Sellers Club where you get a mug when you get to 1,000 followers. It took them a while to get there. They got their mug and they made it. It took them a while to get there, but they were able to monetize their small following very, very quickly using the Prompts for Profits calendar. So number one is unique product focus, right? Make sure that you have that unique product focus. Power posts, that's from the calendar. Prompts for Profits, post from the Prompts for Profits calendar. And make sure you're following the rules of posting. So we have an entire training that says, like, these are the things to post, these are things not to post. Because if you're posting the wrong stuff, it doesn't matter if you're getting more followers. If you're not making the right posts, you're not going to lead them to sales. There are certain posts that you can make that will lead them to sales. Now, the trick is not just a post that gets them to sales. The trick is posting daily, because when you post daily, these sorts of posts, not every post is designed for immediate sales, but it builds that relationship. Like we were talking at the beginning of this call, they're here, you want them to purchase your product, which is here. Most people don't just jump over, right? If you've ever heard in advertising, it takes 7 touches for somebody to decide to buy from you. It's not exactly true, but it's a good thing to think about. With social media, you need a lot more touches, but you're moving them closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And that's what the posts do. There are very few things. Really, the only way to get them from here to here is they were already looking for that solution. Or your product is so wow that they just can't help themselves. Now, some people are lucky enough to have a product like that. I don't even want to say lucky. Some people were really smart in creating a product like that, but most people don't have something that's like, wow, that's unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. And that's exactly what I need in my life. For most of us, we need to move them closer to the goal. Okay. That's what the PFP does, the Prompts for Profits calendar. So Susie, I invite you to take the 2-week trial. Go in, grab the calendar. You can grab the March calendar right now. Take the 2-week trial for $7. I will drop the link and just give it a shot on your own page. It can, depending on how the algorithm is for you, if they're kind of engaging but not buying, it's going to work much quicker. If you're getting zero engagement, and you're getting some followers but nobody's engaging, sometimes it can take a little bit longer to get that algorithm working in your favor. Let's see. But yeah, grab the 2-week trial, $7. Grab the calendar and start posting from the calendar. Make sure you have a unique product focus. But even before you do that, you can watch the power posts and you can watch the quick cash method and get those things going so you can really figure out what it takes to get people to buy, and then focus on that unique product focus. Definitely do that before you try to build more followers. Unique product focus before more followers. Unique product focus before you do a Facebook page makeover too. We have that training in there because you don't want to do a makeover and then realize, oh, I don't have a unique product focus, and then have to do the whole thing again. So unique product focus is really, really important. We're going to be putting up a new roadmap. We have the 6-week action guide in there now. The links in that are broken because we're rearranging. We're in the middle of rearranging the training, and trying to put it in a more small, digestible chunks. And then we're going to put up a roadmap that shows you how to follow the what to do first, what to do second, when to stop before you get move on to the next thing. Susan says, who was that? What did they sell? I missed it. That was Schaefer's Creative Chaos. They sold tie-dye t-shirts. So yeah, they had 250 followers, about $200 to $300 worth of sales a month, and they absolutely exploded in sales just by adding the PFP, just adding that one element. Their customers were right on the edge of wanting to buy from them, and all it took was a slight change. And like I said, for different people, it's going to be different. They had a unique product focus right out of the gate, and so they were attracting people who like tie-dye right out of the gate. What they were, I don't want to say failing, but what they were lacking was that engagement piece. As soon as they learned how to engage their audience was all in and dying to buy their product. So yeah, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. The PFP is a game changer. Members will tell you, like Lana mentioned, she loves the PFP. I know Michelle's in here. She uses the PFP religiously. Posting daily from the PFP, absolute game changer. All right, guys. So that takes us at 1 hour and 8 minutes, which is cool. We're going to wrap it up here. I plan to go live for about an hour. Thank you for all of your questions. I really enjoyed the questions I was able to answer as well. I got more where those come from. Next week, I'll be back here with a workshop. And I do this every time. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do a workshop. And then I forget to bring up the name of the next workshop that I'm doing. But I will be back here next Tuesday at noon for a workshop. And that workshop is going to be, I have it here. Nope. Trying to open that up. Here we go. Workshop this month is Pricing for Profit, which I love, love, love. That's a fantastic workshop. So I will be going live here next week talking about how to price for profit. We're going to go live right here, noon Eastern, next Tuesday. Mark your calendar, mark yourself as going, because it's going to be fantastic. Pricing for profit. And then the week after that, we're going to do, I almost lost my train of thought there. The week after that, we're going to be doing a hot seat with a Handmade Sellers Club member, where I'm going to be coming on here with that member and doing a coaching call live for everybody to see. The one we did last month, everybody absolutely loved it. I loved it. They loved it. Everybody watching was like, this is like the best thing I've ever seen. So if you missed that, it is available in the replays, but Facebook's going to start removing replays after 30 days. But we also go live on YouTube at the same time that we go live here. And so any of our video content that will be getting deleted from Facebook is still on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to grab the link for our YouTube channel so you can follow us over there and you don't miss a thing. Lana says, oh, pricing, you can use me as an example. I usually do, Lana. You are a great example for pricing. You've done some amazing up leveling with your pricing. So you've done great. So there is the link to the YouTube channel. Again, if you want to watch the replay from last week's or last month's coaching call, you can watch that there. If you want to watch replay for this call anytime in the future, you can watch it there. Like I said, Facebook's going to start deleting videos that are older than 30 days. So follow us on YouTube so you can check out all of that goodness. All right, guys, that's it. I will see you next week where we'll talk about pricing. Bye.